Hey, Aiden here, um, and welcome back to the show. Today, we got a bit of a special episode because we're going to be covering the next five best selling albums of each year in one video, and that is the Broadway original cast recording of The Sound of Music, um, the soundtrack to West Side Story, the cast recordings of Camelot and Hello Dolly, and the soundtrack to Mary Poppins. And the reason I grouped these all together is they're all kind of soundtracks or, original recordings of Broadway shows or of musical films. So they kind of seem like the topic for one video. And in addition, for some of these, I don't have that much to say. So I don't think a video devoted to Hello Dolly would be particularly long, for example. So yeah, let's just get started. The Sound of Music, it's a great album. I knew most of the songs both through cultural osmosis, and I saw the film a long time ago. But I'd never listened to the album, which is actually of the original musical, not the film itself. But it's the same story essentially. And my favorite song on it is probably Do Re Mi. I just think songwriting's really strong on it, but I think the album's pretty full of very memorable songs. So yeah, and then moving on to West Side Story, I enjoyed this one a very great deal. I thought it started off a little shaky with how it had such a long introduction, like overture section. It was almost 15 minutes. But I think after that it really kicks into gear. My favorite song on the West Side Story soundtrack is probably America. I really like the lyrics, kind of the way it's structured. I really love the thing where it goes between 3/4 and 6/8. That's a very cool. It's a drummer's worst nightmare, but it's a cool sound. So yeah, and then um, that's kind of those two. In terms of Hello Dolly and Camelot, I have very little to say. I mean, they just kind of passed by me when I listened to them. I don't even know if I could pick out individually favorite tracks. They just seemed very kind of bland of the time. They didn't capture me as much. They were pleasant enough to listen to, but I don't think I will be listening to them again. And then finally, Mary Poppins is another amazing album. It again kind of feels like full of hits and kind of full of classics. My favorite on it is Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, but I think it's just chock full of personality. It really feels, it feels like these songs are integral to the film when you watch the film, and then just listening to it's a great experience too. It's just a classic movie all around. Um, so those are kind of my brief reviews of um, those various albums. And just to say, I had heard the sound. The only ones I'd heard in full in the past were The Sound of Music and Mary Poppins. I hadn't heard the other three. So yeah, and then I'm announcing a bit of a change to the way I'm gonna do my rankings, which is that I'm not gonna reveal them every single episode because I realized that would get very unwieldy quick, and every episode would have a minute and a half devoted to number one, number two, number three, number four, number five, number six, etc., etc. So from now on, I'm going to leave that until the end of each decade. So I'm not going to be revealing my full rankings until the end of the video for 1969. So yeah, but I'll give stars for each of these, and as always, whole stars only. So no like 3.5 or that kind of stuff. Um, I give The Sound of Music 3 stars. Um, Pretty strong three though. West Side Story is four stars. Camelot and Hello Dolly are two each. And then Mary Poppins is a very strong four. So those are my ratings of those. Um, and overall, I'm glad that I didn't do each as an individual video because I kind of wanted to knock out my thoughts for all of these kind of soundtrack musical e albums and then move on to some more kind of like band and pop related stuff that I feel like I can go more in depth on because I have more to say about it. The thing is with a lot of these, it's difficult to review the music on its own without reviewing it with the show and without the plot. And often these kind of musicals feel kind of disconnected because you're only getting the songs, not kind of what's going on in between. So, yeah. So that's my review of the best selling albums from 1960 through 1965. And I'll see you next time for 1966. Thank you for watching. Thank you for supporting the channel. Ciao.